So starting the test drive in this Tundra here, I've said this before, the twin turbo V6 in this thing is absolutely crazy. Case in point, I mean, it's got pickup. It really does, and this is just the normal drive mode. I'm not even in sport, but it's still relatively efficient for being a full-size pickup truck. So you have that. And I've heard a few things about just the engines and whatnot, but I mean, so many, today's manufacturers, the good thing is usually if you have issues with your vehicle, it's gonna be when it's under warranty more times than not. And then when stuff happens, when it's outside of warranty, a lot of the times that has to do with just the maintenance. But I've heard issues about these trucks in terms of basically people saying they are blowing up or whatever they're saying, I don't know. But I always see people in the comments saying, hey, these new Tundra engines are doing this or doing that, but I haven't seen any issues firsthand of that happening. But with the new warranties, a lot of people provide the lifetime powertrain warranties. You're covered if some catastrophic issues were to happen with that, if your factory warranty doesn't cover it up front anyway. So there's a lot of protection for the consumer that used to not be there, I feel, maybe 20, 30 years ago. But where a lot of these dealerships are bought corporate and a lot of people are selling lifetime powertrain warranties to the customers, that's kind of giving you that added layer. And it's just nice to have that peace of mind when spending 50, 60, close to 100,000 sometimes on a full-size pickup truck. But overall, with this one being an SR5, the interior is not bad. I like the storage. The Tundras have always been, other than having the V8, they've just always been the more practical truck, I think, in terms of the storage you get, in terms of the overall usability. My favorite thing, of course, being the power sliding back window, but even just the center console here, just having all these storage compartments and so many ways to configure the storage compartments. And that's something that I don't see much of in the competitors. Everybody's got their own way of maximizing storage, but Toyota just has it down pat. I feel like I could move out like 2 rooms in my house just with this truck. And I had a 2007 Tundra, and just having that back glass go down, I used to be taking 12-foot 2x4s, just driving around with them like it's nothing. Wasn't necessarily safe, but I was taking it a mile or two up the road, and it would just go from the windshield all the way back over the end of the truck there. So it was just, it was something. But again, that's one of the reasons that I still like the Tundra in terms of a full-size truck, just with what you get. You get your radar cruise, you get your lane tracing assistant, all of that stuff standard on an SR5. And most of the features, specifically with the safety sense, you don't get in a mid-level trim from the competition. And basically the only competition is what, GM and Ford at this point, just with the Titan, not knowing what's going on with that. And of course you have Ram as well. But now with this being a full-size truck, ride quality is very good. And with these smaller 18-inch wheels and the beefier tires, the road noise is not as prevalent as it would be with the off-road tires or with the upgraded 20s or something like that. And even with these being cloth seats, the way that they are made, they're still comfortable. And you'll notice, because they have the same shape as the leather seats, as you go up in the trim levels, as you go up in the options, whereas a lot of these other trucks, if you get, let's say, a base model GMC, the leather seats in a Denali are not going to have that same look and feel as the base model. So here, these just seem like the same overall seat structures that you get in the top trims. that you're also getting here in this SR5 cloth. Now, from a driving standpoint, I really like how this drives, even compared to the EcoBoost 3.5 that you get in the F-150. This just feels a bit more potent. Feels a bit beefier, feels a bit stronger. And I just feel like the 10-speed does a better job here. But we're gonna put it in a sport mode, and then we're gonna get on the interstate here. So here we go. So not flooring it by any means, just giving it a little something, and just a very quick pickup truck. So we're gonna test out the lane tracing assistant here with the adaptive cruise. Gonna put the truck back into eco mode. So it said the lane tracing was on, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's working. No one's around me, so I'm gonna see. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm sure it's something in the settings that needs to be fixed. That happens a lot of the times when I first get in these new trucks. But I want to give one more thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this Tundra today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But yeah, lane centering wasn't on, so now that it's on, it's doing its thing. Just a great overall safety system here. Driver assistance system, I should say. But what I like about these trucks, most importantly, is when you're driving down the road in this, you don't feel like you're in a pickup truck. This drives very comfortably, very smoothly, and a lot of that does have to do with Toyota's safety sense that's installed here. You just feel like you're in a Tesla or an EV or something like that, just with all the technology that's at play here, even though you're in a full-size pickup truck that can tow and haul and go off-road and all that. Now for this price especially, I wouldn't hesitate, especially now before we don't know what the tariffs are gonna do or anything like that, if we were gonna have tariffs. But the discount on this one now being $8,000, and honestly with the SR5 being the cheaper price anyway, this is a pretty impressive bargain in my opinion. Just with, again, having the safety sense and having the sliding back window, and then just having this awesome powertrain on top of that. So definitely a good option if you're in the market for a full-size truck. Again, if you're looking to get something around here, John Roberts Toyota, $8,000 off MSRP. I think now's the time to go ahead and pull the trigger on something like this. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Toyota Tundra SR5.